Welcome to Activate Your Abundance. I'm your host, Shefali Burns. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm really excited about our guest today is Joanne Justis, and we have been receiving so many emails from all of you who want to get a mini reading with Joanne, so we really appreciate that, and thank you for being on the call. We are going to try and do a few. We can't get to everybody. There's just not enough time, right? So let me tell you a little bit about Joanne. For those of you who may not know who Joanne is, Joanne Justis, and we're going to be talking about how to overcome the behavior patterns that keep you stuck and manifest the life you desire by understanding your God code. She was born into a metaphysical family, and Joanne has been a spiritual intuitive all of her life. She trained under her mother, a Chaldean master numerologist who originally founded Numbers Are You, and together they have provided charts and readings since 1984. Joanne created and designed a comprehensive and responsive Chaldean numerology website, numbersareYou.com. Her computer software program, Numerology for the New Era, was inspired by and based on an original software program copyrighted by her mother in 1984. The result of years of research, Numerology for the New Era is a unique, one-of-a-kind, newly redesigned and revised, innovative PC and web-based application, which utilizes leading-edge technology and has the ability to calculate dates between 1900 and 3004, a span of over 1,000 years. This top-of-the-line software program enables numbersareYou.com to provide clients with perfectly accurate numerology charts, specializing in complete character analysis, holistic tracking of an individual entire life experiences, plus 5 years into the future, compatibility charts for families, singles, couples, and business partners, in addition to baby name testing, naming for business ventures, companies, and products, pet and animal pedigree naming, and more. There's a lot we can do with these charts. So welcome to the show, Joanne.
Thank you. I'm jazzed to be here.
And I can tell you we're so excited because this is something, I've told you in the past that I'm so interested in numerology, and I always have been. I always look at my numbers and my letters and my name, and sometimes I think about, changing my name so that I can have better numbers, and we talked about that before, and my numbers are perfect just the way they are. My name is perfect just the way it is, so we're not going to change anything. But I didn't know that until I talked to Joanne. So Joanne, can you tell us a little bit more about you, what you do, what this numerology chart is, and what kinds of things it can help us with? I mean, we talked about it briefly in the bio, but you can tell us a little bit more, and then we will take some of the charts that I have given you the names and birth dates of, and we can do, we'll see if these people are on the call, and we'll try and get their mini readings. And let me tell you, people, these are teasers, okay? So these are teasers. It'll just give you a little bit of an overview or insight into what's possible for you. Okay, so Joanne, I know I just go off on a tangent.
Let me start off with saying that this Chaldean numerology is a mathematical formula. It was developed with mind-blowing accuracy. The Chaldeans were known for their knowledge of the stars and magic, particularly astrology and numerology. The Chaldeans in the Babylonian days introduced mathematics to the world, so they do know something about mathematics. And this is a proven ancient science of numbers that dates back to 4004 BCE and asserts that every person is signed at birth with a set of unique numerical values which represent vibrational patterns that have definable and describable meanings. The numbers of a person's name and birth date unveil a unique design and blueprint that reveals the potential within a person's life. So Chaldean numerology, therefore, deciphers the mathematical code that resides within each name assigned at birth with precise accuracy. So the name that you're assigned at birth and the birth date inked onto the birth certificate becomes Program A, so to speak. When you modify that name or change that name in any way, shape, or form, even by a letter, you are modifying Program A and you go to Program B. And we have specific frequencies we come in with. So the name reveals your personal characteristics and traits and your behavioral patterns, whereas the birth date is permanent. You cannot change it. You come in with it, you go out with it. So anytime you change your name, it's the core characteristics, the frequencies you change. And if you come in with a certain frequency and you modify it, you don't know what you're modifying it, it creates all kinds of dysfunction. Now, we're all born, we all have to go through an obstacle course in this lifetime. This is all your broken parts coming in from past lifetimes, plural, into this lifetime, and it gets launched as a child. So hence what I have is, what I love to do is the God Code Blueprint is a complete reevaluation and character analysis of what you look like from the inside out. You see, when you work with a therapist, you work with them from the outside in. They take all your pieces, their puzzle board, and turn it upside down and move them around and say, I have a program for you. But what I'm doing is, using this mathematical formula, I'm decoding, deciphering, and extracting information from both your name and your birth date. And as a result of it, I've got a whole roadmap for you from birth to death. So I have age cycles associated with my blueprints that shows, are you on course, are you off course? Well, I can tell you that most people are not on course because of obstacles as a child, and then they change their name and they make decisions, and they go, most of the time they go backwards until they get sick and tired of being sick and tired of their old program, and then what they do is they're ready to move forward. So with that said, I have many different products, but the one that we're talking about today is known as the God Code Blueprint. If you know anything about Greg Braden, he has written the book, The God Code. We all are born with this code. Call it what you want, but it is basically your blueprint. No different than a architectural drawing of a house. You have all these different layers so you can see what the inside looks like and how it's going to be constructed. You're no different. And so as a result of this, I can break down all of your components, your destiny, intellect, your soul, emotional desire, your personality, your purpose, your midlife goals, the personal years that you're in are very specific energy, your emotional and physical development areas, your opportunities and life lessons, and then you throw in all the other stuff. It's a big assignment in this lifetime. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some testers, some on-the-fly readings, just to I will pull out certain things from people's reading, but just know that this is your full potential, and most people don't live up to it. So I'm not sure if I answered all your questions, but that was just kind of like the beginning of where we start to move forward with the questions.
Yeah, I was just going to just ask you too, for for those people who are new to you and you know are on the call who are interested in what exactly is the God Code Report, and what information do you require in order to generate it?
Okay, great. The only thing that we need for numerology, regardless of what system you use, is the full name and the birth date. So if you are still using your birth name, a lot of people, I ask this question, and it's just amazing to me that the answers I get. What is on your driver's license, the full name? What is on your Social Security? And what is on your income tax return? A lot of people will use initial as a middle name. The initial doesn't buy you anything. Your full potential that you bond to is your full name. Now, you do not need to use your middle name on everyday stuff, but on contracts, mortgages, on legal papers, you need your full name, and that is the full energy frequency that you bond to. Now, if you're using multiple names, you have multiple frequencies, and so the universe says, wow, that's too confusing for me. Tell them to put everything in the bucket and figure it out themselves, because each of the frequencies, they're negative or positive, and so if you have a frequency you came in with and you're changing your name around somewhat, you can create a problem for you. Now, if you call yourself a nickname, what you call yourself or what somebody calls you has no bearing in the situation. It is strictly what is bonded on your driver's license, legal papers, is what you you march to the tune of. So again, you only need your birth name and your birth date, no time, no anything else. Those are the two factors.
Perfect. All right, so we're gonna see. We'll see who's on the call, so that we can generate some reports and do some teaser reports, right? So how about Julia? Are you here? And the date of birth or the last year is 1958. So Julia, if you're on the call, can you raise your hand, please? Star 2 to raise your hand, Julia. I think I saw you, but let me just find you. Oh, there you are. Perfect. Hold on one second. Hi, Julia.
Hello there, Shefali. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's so nasty here. Thank you for calling on me. I love Joanne's work. It's just so fascinating to me. It's I think astrology first started out as a religion, didn't it?
No, it wasn't a religion. It was introduced as a scientific type of application, just like math when it was introduced. But back then, these were pre-scientists, so this had nothing to do with religion. This is not witchcraft or voodoo or anything like that. But through the ages, you know, people have misinterpreted it because it's spooky, this kind of stuff that you can, you know, extract and get a code from. So it's interesting. The various different documents that have been written by, then most of them aren't accurate out there, but that's where we start from.
Gotcha.
So, Julie.
It's fascinating. Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
A couple questions real quick. What do you do for a living?
Okay. Sell businesses.
Oh, okay, great. So I have one question. You changed your name, so I'm looking at your birth name first. This is what I look at first. So I'm going to look at the name Julia. Now, I have a question.
Okay.
When somebody corners you or they hurt your feelings, do you fire back with direct words, blunt, direct words?
I used to.
Good
now
for you.
I sort of go within and figure it out.
You came in, your destiny, which is permanent, is the bull, my way or the highway. The 1 is the leader. The 4 is the builder of perfection, because the builders are always perfectionists. And it's very blunt. If you write a number 4 on a piece of paper and put a line across, you'll see a box. Blunt, dominant, controlling, my way or the highway. And the 4 wants freedom. You're a freedom lover. So there's a conflict between having everything nice and stable and in a box versus the freedom. And so until you mature and until you understand that, you will not have a great relationship either in business or personal until you work on that. Those 3 components are joined at the hip. So you got to work on that so you're not a bully.
Okay.
Okay? And your soul emotional desire, like the engine of the car, you brought in another 4. So you came in very rigid. In fact, your main challenge from birth to death is to get out of your square box and try to lively things up. You have a tendency to be like the same thing over and over again, or you're comfortable in your own box, so to speak. Would that be correct or not?
That is so true, Joanne.
Yeah, well, let me tell you that. Look, there's 2 ways to get somewhere. You can take the slow lane or the fast lane, and you're taking the slow lane because it's safe. You get a ticky mark in the box. You get your check. You get your medical, whatever you're doing, and so therefore you're going to peek out of your little box and say, "Ooh, I don't know about that. I can't control it. I go back in my box." And then you go out a little bit further, and you can say, "Oh, I don't think I want to go out that far," and then go back in your box. So put your age on a piece of paper. How long do you want to delay getting outside that box?
No longer.
Okay, so let me tell you that your first new year this year goes your birthday to birthday. So January 2014 to 15, you're in a 16-7, very tricky. The 1 says you want to go forward. The 6 says you're working on personal relationships. And 7 says you're at a stop sign, out of gas. You cannot go any further until you face the dragon. The dragon is what is holding you behind. You are uncomfortable. You don't like it. Some people run to the doctor and say, "Oh, I'm having a nervous breakdown." You're not having a nervous breakdown. You're in the energy that says you got to stop and pay attention, because if you don't fix what's broken, you will not be able to take advantage of next year's energy, which is coming up around November, 2 months before your birthday, which says, "Okay, I'm in the car. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go for it." And it's exciting, high energy. It's successful energy. But if you don't remove what's got you stuck now, you're going to be a year behind in utilizing that energy. You won't be able to use it. And then the following year is spring cleaning, emotional and physical. So this year is tricky. And this last year, January of 2013 to 14, you were working on relationships. Either you ended a relationship or working on relationships. It's a little tricky because the universe says, "Well, she's not quite done, so I'm going to give her a little bit more to work on this year." So you brought in the 6 again for relationships. 1 says it's about time you go forward, and 7 says you got to fix what's broken so you can go forward.
That's true.
Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense with the relationships and the things that I've been encountering and trying to deal with too.
Yes. You are a major caregiver. You got to stop taking care of everyone. You want to make everything nice for everybody. You don't want to confront because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So then you take the gorilla on your back, and now the weight is on you. You're too nice.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I'm trying not to, I'm living by that standard. I'm not as nice as I used to be.
Well, that's good. That's good, because you know what? The 14-5 is mellowing out, and you're realizing that you've got to take care of yourself. You only have one karmic lesson in this lifetime, Julie, and that is you came in to become more spiritual, to educate what you know.
Wow.
And you came in with a bag of tricks. With leadership skills from a past lifetime. So that means you have a bag of tricks that you just kind of tap into. Your purpose in life is to be a leader. Your destiny is to be a leader, a builder, and you're a freedom lover. And your personality is the lover, the caretaker, very, very nurturing, but you have to be very careful with that one.
That's all true. That's all.
Yeah, and you came in from childhood in a real rough state in that you didn't have self-esteem, no confidence, unable to speak up, express yourself. So how are you with avoiding confrontation?
I try not to create any confrontation, any problems that would require confrontation, but I don't totally avoid them, but I try to approach them from the point of love. So
okay, that's good. I think I heard two different things in here. You don't want to go after it, but you will approach it. But here's the deal. The most difficult development there is for everyone, and almost everybody has it, is if you can't confront, then you become submissive. Then you deactivate your frequency. And then you talk with a block in your throat. You're choking on your words because you can't speak your truth. This is the #1 key for everyone to be successful. I don't care what you come in to do. If you come in even with really, really successful numbers and you can't confront, you're not going to go anywhere fast. This is the #1 item, and you're still working on it because you're stuck in your box. You came in as a 7 that says, I don't want any upset, any friction, any drama. So then what you do is when somebody hurts you, you recoil into your head, you eat, you drink, you spend, you do something for a buzz. Everybody does.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like just a nutshell of what's going on with you. But what happened is when you took on your name change, you actually became more aggressive.
That's very believable and true.
Yes, you went from the 4 square, the my way, the highway type rigidness to 11-2. You came in to take the leadership role. You came in to be a counselor and advisor. You came in to motivate and inspire people. And your purpose changes from taking the leadership role to now educating. So if you're in sales or anything else, you're going to educate somebody on the product before they're going to buy it. So that's what you've become. And the 7s are hermit loners.
I do value my time.
Yep, you would. And you have to recharge your batteries, so you need a lot of time.
That's right.
And so you're not overly social. You can be, but that's not your first priority.
That's right.
So there you have it.
That's also true. It's just amazing. That is also true.
Well, good.
Thank you, Julia.
So actually,
I'm sorry.
Did you have any other questions?
Well, judging from everything you've said, it seems like those are the things that I'm working on, and it seems like I'm pretty much on course. And if I just speak the truth and not be afraid to confront, everything will go along smoothly like it's supposed to. Is
yes,
that
you're
right?
exactly on track. When you get a reading from me, you're either off track or on track. Off track is the norm. You're actually really on track because atta girl, keep going. You're going to get God winks from the universe saying, oh, keep going. This is good. This is good. Yes, you are on track, but you have to get out of that square box because it's your main challenge from birth to death, and from 58 on, and you're not quite there yet, is to get outside of your box. Where you currently are now is to speak up and express yourself in a very diplomatic fashion. That's it. You fix those and you're going to be home selling.
That's great. That's what I was thinking too. And thank you so much for the confirmation and the information, Joanne. I appreciate it. Yes, the validation is incredible, and just like your work, it's so fascinating. I'm definitely going to invest in the package.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you, Shefali. Thank you. Bye-bye, ladies.
Bye. Bye. All right, next we're going to Nena. I just saw your name and then I lost it. Nena, where are you? I mean, I know you're on online. Yeah, Nena, January 20th, 1974. Nena, January 20th, 1974. All right, I'm unmuting you.
Hi.
Hi, Nena.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Phew. I can't believe I got picked. Wow.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Tell me what you do for a living.
I was a lawyer, but then I haven't been working for the past 4 years. I've just been looking for my purpose, and it's quite frustrating. Haven't found it.
Wow, your purpose is to educate. You're an educator.
Wow, really? Okay.
Absolutely. Here's the problem. Let me just give you the combination of what's going on here. Your destiny is the caretaker, the lover, the caretaker, very, very nurturing, not aggressive. You came in to serve mankind in any position that you choose. That is the humanitarian. Your personality is a 7 and your purpose is a 7. That means you're a hermit-like, loner-like. You're not social. You can be social, but the 7s go inward. They seek the truth and turn around when they educate people on what you know. You are an educator. So why did you not like being an attorney?
I just kept falling ill, and I had various issues in terms of I'm an empath. I was in investment banking, so it was really difficult. I kept absorbing everyone's energy, and things just weren't working out. I mean, I enjoyed what I did. Intellectually, it was fantastic, and I was very successful, but physically, health-wise, I was struggling. Relationships-wise, I was struggling. So I just decided to sort of leave it all behind me. But I always hated teaching, and I just liked humanitarian work. I'm a good person, and people would say I'm very aggressive, but then that's the lawyer in me. I guess I had to become that.
Right. Well, interesting, because you are an extremely old soul. You've lived many, many lifetimes. You have actually 2 lessons in this entire lifetime, and you're going to get it through different experiences. Your first challenge from age 1 to 30 was to take the leadership role. From age 30 to 57 to take the leadership role, and from 57 on, you're not there yet, you have to overcome your sensitivity. One of your karmic lessons, and you have 3 of them, is you are so sensitive that you bruise very, very easily. And so being in the limelight is not something you're probably going to choose as your first priority. Yes, you might have been fired up as an attorney, but you couldn't. Your sensitivity can't handle that kind of momentum, that firing back, because you don't know how to put a shield around you. So this would say that even though you stood up as an attorney, you have a really hard time confronting. You don't want any drama, any upset whatsoever. So that's just contrary to who you are in that profession that you chose.
That's interesting. I seem to attract drama, and
yeah, you don't like drama. No drama, yes, but you're attracting it for a very specific reason. You came in to become more spiritual and to educate what you know. You came in to work on personal relationships, and so the only way you're going to get to work through all that is through any kind of dysfunction or any kind of drama that you receive. Yeah, definitely. But the 7s don't like it. They're hermits, and that is the whole purpose of what's going on with you. You brought in the very compassionate, the caregiver. Do you have a partner, a personal partner?
No, I don't. I've been single forever.
Okay, well, you're going to have a harder time finding a partner, because the 2 7s are very intellectual. You look intellectual. You look like maybe you're going to bite somebody instead of hugging them. That's because what an intellectual goes through. People will totally misunderstand who you are until you become a little bit more friendly, and you kind of like open your space and say, oh, come on in. They're going to see you as responsible, trustworthy, but they're not sure. There's a barrier between you and them with those 2 7s. That frequency is inward frequency. It's not happy frequency. It's intellectual frequency. And if somebody hurts your feelings, what do you do for a buzz?
I go within, I guess.
Yeah, you do. You go within, and then it causes depression, and then you're not going to be social. What you really need to do is find ways. You need creativity and activity to bounce that heavy brain. When you're creative and you're happy, your body changes, everything changes, and your thoughts are unlimited. But when you're in that cocoon of that being intellectual, you go get the data, you seek the data, you process the data, you decide what's what on it. It's very, very limiting. And the more you retreat back into your head, the harder it is for you to get dressed to go out and be social.
Yes, that's very true. But what am I supposed to be creative in? I mean, I don't feel I have a bone of creativity in me.
Well, you came in to explore creativity. Your creativity, and if you look at your life lessons, you came in with 1 point, and you need 3 points to start with. You need to explore. Try painting. Try singing. Try photography. You have to keep trying. Maybe those don't appeal to you, but you have to keep trying something to get outside of your intellectual mind, because the only way that you're ever going to be equal and balanced is with creativity and activity, as is sports and working out with your brain. Otherwise, you're top heavy, and you can become boring, and you can become not fun, because it's all intellectual stimulus, and that is not what you need. You need a balance of the top and the bottom.
Interesting. And am I supposed to be in the limelight?
No.
Okay, good.
You don't have the numbers to be in the limelight.
That's fantastic. I didn't like that, but somebody told me that. Okay.
No.
It's quite difficult. Okay, so basically, okay, I just have to be an educator, and it can be in anything.
Anything. You know, if you're going to sell a product, you educate people. If you're going to write a book, or you're going to talk on a topic, whether you talk, verbal and written communication skills are very important. But the sevens are not friendly. So when you get up and give a talk, if you're just going to do a mind dump, it's boring. But if you're more of an entertainer, but you don't have the entertainer characteristics, you have very serious numbers. And your life goal from 45 on, so another 5 more years, you're going into a combination of, by the way, it says watch your health, but the 1 says you're going to take the leadership role or be more aggressive. The 3 says you want to be more social, let the little girl out and play a little bit more and to express yourself. And the 4 says you're in the rebuilding mode. It could be your personal life as well as your business. And this year, your personal year, you're in a 1. So this last year, you should have been leaving things behind. This last year, January of 2013 or 14, you were in a completion year. This means spring cleaning, both emotional and physical. You have to get rid of everything that's got you held back, because where you are now is you're on the pathway going forward, but yet you're lost because you don't know exactly where you're going yet. But you know, you think you want something till you get it, and then after you get it, it's not what you thought it was going to be, but you have to go through that process to decide what you like and what you don't like. But where you are now is from age 39 to 48, you came in to make money. You came in to get yourself reorganized, re-educated to make money.
Interesting. Okay.
But those two sevens really hurt you in a lot of ways. If you had one little 3 in there, which was a little bit more social and creative, it'd be a complete different flavor altogether. Now, just know that if you ever decide to marry, and you don't like the sound of his name at all whatsoever, no matter how you move your name around, whether you eliminate your name and take his name or you hyphenate your name, don't take his name. However, on the other hand, if you love the name, it feels really, really right, he's probably going to do you a favor. He's going to redirect those frequencies, your soul desire, emotional desire, personality, and purpose. Those will change when you change your frequency. It will probably soften you up a bit, give you a little bit more happy numbers, but that's what happens. It takes 9 years for the new name to resonate, but the minute you start using the name, say the minute you get married and you use that name, the energy is bonded to that one, but it takes 9 years to settle into the name. So most women are submissive and they don't want to hurt their partner's feelings, so they say, okay, I'll take the name, but I don't really want it, and that will cause that person to go backwards in time, not forwards. So this is a mathematical formula, and I don't know either until I generate the report to see where you started and where you are and what the differences are between the frequencies. But you have 2 very difficult frequencies because they're both very lonely hermits, and they don't do well in personal relationships or relationships in general because they're so smart and intellectual that you intimidate other people, and they don't know if you're going to hug them or bite them.
Yes, no, that's absolutely true, and it's quite frustrating.
It is, because you're going to be misread.
Yes,
totally misread.
Yes. That totally happens, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yes, there is. You have to be a little bit more friendly. You have to be aware that how people perceive you is not really who you are. So that means you have to go out of your way to be a little bit more of a dog and pony show, to open up your space a little bit, to say, be a little bit more friendly. You have to fix it on your end because they can't fix it on their end.
Right. And does this methodology sort of say whether or not I'm going to meet somebody or not? Is there like a person?
There is no methodology that tells you that. You are the driver of your vehicle. You have free will and choice. You can cross your arms and say it's never going to work, and of course you're not going to meet someone. Or you can say I am ready now, and you start the process. Nobody likes the dating scene, but to get something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of your old program, you will make a change, but not a minute before then.
Okay.
Nobody should tell you that. If you go talk to a psychic, they're going to say, yeah, Mr. Right's right around the corner. And then when Mr. Right doesn't come, you say, well, what just happened? Well, that person does not have free will and choice over that individual that they read for that moment.
All right. So my name right now is fine. I don't need to sort of make...
You don't need to do anything, because when you marry, you're going to change it probably. I would imagine so. And if you do, I'm getting in the background that it's probably going to be a much more better balancing of your frequencies. It's all about balancing the frequencies.
Mm-hmm. I'm very sensitive to names. I don't date guys if I don't like their name. I know it's weird.
Well, whatever works. Now, where you are from age 30 to 57, you came in to be able to confront, to speak your truth on a diplomatic fashion, and not to choke on your words.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. I'm learning self-expression.
Yeah, that's exactly. You know what? Take a Toastmasters class in public speaking. I'll tell you what that does. I know you've been a lawyer, you've been out there in front. It gets you an environment outside of your box, and what it does is you're with people you don't know, and you have to get up there in the spur of the moment and talk about something you don't know, and it starts to, once you get up there, you're sort of scary, and you're sweating bullets and all that stuff, but after a while, you're going to find this is not so bad, and that's how you're going to develop your communication skills, both verbal and written. It is excellent. It is excellent for anybody who cannot confront. It's scary. Everybody says, ooh, why would I want to do that? And I said, well, I don't know. Put your age on a piece of paper and tell me when you want to start life and get out of hiding.
No, I'm happy to do that. I enjoy public speaking.
That's good.
I don't like one-to-one, but I like speaking to a group. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, that's what you have to fix, because you were talking about personal relationships one-on-one.
Yeah.
So you want to fix what's broken so that you can have a great life.
Okay, great. I'm going to try that. It's a bit overwhelming. It's a lot of information, but I'll listen to the replay again just to get...
It's a lot in a very short time, and I talk fast, but I'm trying to get through a lot of people.
No, I understand, and I don't want to keep you, but is there anything else I absolutely need to know for this year, other than what you've just shared?
The main thing is this is a year you're in from age 30 to 57 to take the leadership role, to step up the plate, to be more assertive, aggressive, but you can't do that until you're over the sensitivity. The sensitivity is the killer.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been sensitive.
I know, but you're going to have to find a way to get past that.
Okay.
Put a rubber band on your wrist. Put a rubber band on your wrist, and every time you don't like drama, or you want to avoid anything that you don't want to have to address or deal with, and you want to escape, snap the rubber band that says, pay attention. Look at your age. You need to address it. You need to fix it, and not walk away from it. Because if you walk away from it, you're going to say, wow, I could have said this. I should have said this. When in fact you could have said, you know what? You just hurt my feelings. Did you mean to say that? Did I misinterpret you? You address it. You fix it, and then you move on.
Okay. That's perfect. I'll definitely do that.
Okay.
I felt there was a calling that I needed to do that.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Shefali.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Nena. And great questions. Yes, and thank you, Joanne, for talking about the rubber band thing. We were talking about that right before we started, and it's a great practice. So yeah, please keep that in mind too. And there was something else that you said to Nena that I thought was really, really good about the Toastmasters. Yeah, absolutely. And some of this information that Joanne brings up with each person, it can relate to you as well. So even if she's not talking to you, some of the information in what she's saying could relate to you. If it resonates with you, it usually means that there's something in there for you as well, right?
That's correct, and not only that, but some of these people, you might say that, gosh, are you reading the same information? Remember, there's all kinds of different configurations how you're wired. There are 9 components in total, and so obviously everybody's going to have something similar to somebody else. It just depends on the combination that you have. Where are you aggressive? Where are you not aggressive? And how does that positioning of that frequency, what does that do for you? So some of these things I've heard in the past where people said, wow, it sounds like you're talking about the same person over and over again. Well, I'm reading specifically their God Code Blueprint based on the name and based on the birth date, and that's what you hear that I'm reading for each of these individuals.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to see if we have Cassandra on the line. Cassandra, September 2nd, 1957. If you are here, if you could raise your hand, that would be great. So somebody just raised their hand from... I don't know, because her name doesn't show up on the thing here. I don't know where you're from, Cassandra, but let's just see what happens. That's interesting. Let me see where. All right. Well, I'm going to unmute everybody and unhand everybody so that way I'll know who I want. because sometimes the name of the person and the name on the instant teleseminar is not the same. So 1 second, hold on. Okay, so Cassandra, if you are on the line, please raise your hand now. That'd be great. So that's Cassandra and September 2nd, 1957. If you're on the call, please raise your hand. Start to. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure. Hold on 1 second. Hi, Cassandra?
Hello?
Hi, is this Cassandra?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Glad we found you.
Oh, great.
Cassandra,
are you ready?
Yeah, I know.
Do what?
Cassandra, what do you do for a living?
I was a social worker, and now I'm just home taking care of kids.
Oh, okay. So you're a freedom lover, are you not?
Yes.
But you don't have your freedom, is that correct?
No, I don't.
You came in to learn to be more grounded, so you're not like a little girl in a candy store with a big bag and you want everything. Your main challenge from birth to death was to work on your grounding. And if we look at, you are a caregiver. You came in, your destiny, which is permanent, is the lover, the caretaker, and on your emotional desire, like the engine in the car, which motivates you, you brought in the 6. So you actually came in to be a caregiver, and you came in to motivate and inspire people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now you started off a little bit difficult from childhood. This is where all the things happen, and you have to work on your obstacle course. We all have an obstacle course. Everybody has one, and you've got to get through the obstacle course in order to develop yourself so that you can find happiness. You came in with no self-esteem, no confidence, and very, very shy and unable to speak up and express yourself. Would that be correct?
Yes.
And do you avoid confrontation today, or have you mastered that?
I probably used to avoid it, but probably now I'm starting to do more.
Okay. So that you have 3 karmic lessons in this lifetime. Your first one is you have to work on personal relationships. Can you relate to that one?
Yeah, I could probably relate to that one.
Yeah, okay. Probably means maybe, but I think you kind of laughed, so I'm going to take. You came in to be more.
I like relationships, but since I just got divorced, I'm laughing because I just got divorced.
Right, right. Okay. So this is really interesting because the person year that you're in, your last birthday, September of 2013 to September of 2014, you're in an ending and completion, spring cleaning, getting rid of everything that doesn't serve you. Relationships, moving, could be virtually anything. And this year that you're going into your birthday in September is you got a combination of a 19-1, which is an enhancement to the one personal year. It says, it's time to move forward. It's time to get rid of whatever is lingering. It's time to go forward again. So this year is also spring cleaning as well as going forward.
Yeah, I've been spring cleaning, seems like.
Well, you're going to be doing more this year. Your birthday starts in September. You're not done.
Oh, I was hoping I was done.
No, you're not done. And from age 48 on says it's time to rebuild your life. And, of course, that's some time ago. So you have to rebuild your life. You have, as I said, you have the 3 karmic lessons. You came in to work on personal relationships. You came on in to become more spiritual and to educate what you know. And your soul quality 8 is the wealth number. You came in to learn how to make money, how to manage it, how to balance it with the spiritual side of you, and not overspend like a drunken sailor or underspend like, real frugal and afraid to spend money. So when you changed your name, you actually became more aggressive. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And so what you did is your purpose now is the 14-5, which if everything was working to full potential, you would be a risk taker. You would say, this is the bull number. This says, you're charging ahead. I can do this. I can do this. I can pave the road for others to follow. The 1 is the leader. The 4 is the builder, which is rigid. And 5 is a freedom lover. So do you fire back at people? Are you blunt and dominant when, in fact, somebody hurts your feelings or corners you?
Sometimes, but not always.
Okay, well, sometimes means that you do it, and that means that's the one you want to fix if you want a great personal relationship, because this is the one that will kill a relationship, the bull.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I was married for like 38 years, and I divorced him, but that's because he did something. But
well, it doesn't matter. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
You divorced him, so you had to get rid of something that wasn't serving you. Now you're going to go forward, and you're rebuilding your life, right?
Yes.
Okay, what are your big plans? Because from age 57 on, you're in a 22-4, which is the master builder. This is like rebuilding your life. This is like starting a nonprofit. This is like expanding a business. So what are you doing? What are your goals to rebuild at this stage of the game?
That's a real good question. I was a social worker, but I ended up adopting 2 special needs kids, and they're real special needs, so they basically tied me down for about 2 more years.
Yeah, that would be right. And you know what? You're screaming for your freedom. You're screaming to get out. Your main challenge is from birth to death is, I want my freedom. Be very careful when you get your freedom that you don't spin out of control with God knows what, because when you finally get that door opens up, you say, wow, except I'm all dressed up and no place to go. So you want to plan your escape now while you're in this confinement. Planning your escape means, what are you going to be? Now, are you going to be an employee or are you going to be an entrepreneur? You got to know the difference between the two. The employee plays it safe. The entrepreneur knows that they're going to fall a couple times, but they're willing to risk that. So you get a blank piece of paper, draw a great big round circle in the middle, 4 little circles below it. This is an exercise. So you're going to put your idea into the big round circle and do it in pencil. And then when you get the idea, is this a product or is this a service or both? And you're going to hold it up and say, can I make money doing this? If you cannot make money doing it, but you really love it, put that loving idea in one of the little circles. The little circles below are your passion ideas. They're not the drivers that's going to take you where you want to go, that's going to make you the money. When you get the driver then enables you to swing back and do the things you want to do. But if you start with something you're passionate about and you can't make money doing it, you will get in fear mode.
Yes. Well, I was hoping to become like a energy healer, that type of thing. Use my social work and just kind of
well,
go with
let me
that.
just tell you this. Healers don't make a lot of money unless they're darn good. And you have to be darn good to be an energy worker. Now, you can't be, you know, most people say, I want to quit my corporate job and I want to save the world. First of all, don't ever use that word, because if you do that, you'll have no personal life. Secondly is you have to have a niche market that you do something really, really special, because there's healers all over the planet. Everybody wants to save everybody, but they don't have the right skills. And if you go to a healer and you don't get a good result, that means that you have outgrown them or they're not good enough for what you need to tune you. You need tuning. So you've got to be very careful about what you're asking for. You may not be prepared for what this path is going to take you, let alone not bring enough money in to support you. So just be very careful with what you're choosing.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's about it.
Thank
so
you,
I've got
Cassandra.
3 things to learn, and hopefully I'll learn some of them.
Yes. Work on the personal relationships. That's really, really important, because even though you say occasionally you fire back at words, you have a 14-5, that's the bull, my way or the highway, and there's no way of getting around that unless you mature and you're more diplomatic. But I guarantee you that the day that somebody puts you up against the wall, you're going to fire back with words. And that is known as the bully. And if you're a bully, nobody's going to like you.
Yes.
So you got to be very careful with that one if you want a relationship. And it doesn't have
I'm
to be
not
a
really
personal
sure if I
relationship.
want one.
Well, it can be business as well. A relationship is with anybody you communicate with, you come in contact with. That's a relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be intimate.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably one I really need to work on.
Oh yeah, big time.
So if I got married and changed my name, would that help?
Well, let me tell you something. Everybody thinks, because most numerologists out there tell you that I can give you lucky numbers and I can change your name and give you a whole great new scenario. Let me tell you this. It takes 9 years for the new name to resonate, to settle into. Then you better know what you changed your name from to, because you're playing pin the tail on the donkey and changing ponies in the middle of the race. So you don't know what you're doing. And what it sounds like when it calculates to be are 2 different frequencies. So changing your name isn't going to be the key that's going to get you out of it. You see, what gets you stuck are your decisions. If you got in a bad marriage and you finally get out of it and you got to split the P&L and you got to do all this stuff, it was a decision you make that gets you stuck, not the name.
Okay.
So people are changing their names for the wrong reasons, in other words.
Well, I don't know if I ever want to get married again either, so.
Keep an open mind.
Yeah. I'm almost open.
You just need
trust,
some tuning.
I think, is. Okay.
I wish you well.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Cassandra.
All right. Bye. All right. Thank you.
And I like that exercise, Joanne. That's really important for everybody to know.
It's a great exercise.
Yeah, because sometimes we want to do things and we don't realize that we're not going to make money from it. It's like, yeah, it's fun, it's exciting, we want to do it.
The thing of it is when you go after something and you don't realize what it costs to start a business, get a business license, all the pieces that add up to dollars and cents. And if you think you're going to be a healer or doing something and you're not qualified for it or you don't have the right type of experience, you know how long that's going to take to get you there? And then in the meantime, when you drain through your finances, it's like, oh my gosh, then you get into panic mode. What am I going to do? How am I going to make it? And then you make impulsive decisions. It's a chain reaction. So you got to know what the driver is. In this day and age, you may not want to go with the driver, just like me. Whenever I need some cash, a lot of cash because I'm expanding my business, I go back into the corporate world and I do consulting. I hate doing that because it's a different hat than what I'm wearing now. But I know it's the driver that's going to get me where I want to go on the metaphysical level. I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So sometimes you have to do the job, in order to pay the bills so that you can do all the other stuff that you want to do.
Exactly. Exactly right.
Okay, so we're going to go to Lorraine, November 6th, 1960. So Lorraine, November 6th, 1960. If you want to raise your hand, star 2, that would be great. Oh, yeah, she's raised her hand. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi there.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. I didn't know if you could hear me or not. It's going great. Thanks.
We can hear you.
Thanks for picking me.
Lorraine, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I'm unemployed right now, but when I'm working, I just do administration, office work.
Okay, really good. So the first thing I would say is you came in as a lover caretaker. That's your destiny. Very gentle, very nurturing. Do you have a personal partner?
No, not right now.
Okay. Your soul emotional desires, you're a freedom lover. You cannot be caged. You cannot be trapped in any way. Does that make sense?
Oh, very much.
Okay, and that will dictate some things that you take and some things you don't want to take just because of the confinement. Your personality is very sensitive. You have an issue with confrontation. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Okay, you got to fix that one. That is the key to you blossoming and going in the direction you want to go into. You've got to be able to confront, be able to speak your truth on a diplomatic fashion, and not have a block in your throat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, interesting enough, you only have one aggressive number. I'm reading your birth chart first because that's where we start.
Okay.
You have your life goal from 45 on is a 13-4. It says watch your health, first of all. The one says it's time to become more aggressive, taking the leadership role, expressing yourself, letting the little girl out and having some fun, but enhancing your communication skills and rebuilding your life on a personal business level, whatever pertains to you. Okay, that's the only aggressive number. However, you brought in a bag of tricks from a past lifetime in the leadership area in that you already know how to do things. You kind of like tap into your little bag here, but you're not using it to your full potential. Why?
I have lack of confidence.
Yeah, lack of confidence. Well, let me just share with you that your fourth and last pinnacle from age 48 on, you're in an 18-9. Success numbers in life are 1s, 8s, 9s, 19 1s, 18 9s. 18-9 is the granddaddy and you have it. This means it's time to go forward. When you get an 18-9, it's meant to be on a very successful level, like you're going forward, you're taking the leadership role, you're getting yourself educated to make money, and you're serving mankind. It's also like buying and selling a house. It has to do with money exchanging hands and going forward and leaving something behind. So this would be like going through a divorce where you split up the P&L statement, you're going forward, you leave him behind, the house, you move on. This is like buying and selling properties. It could be virtually anything. It's meant to be very successful and very powerful. But if you don't have your headlights turned up, you're not paying attention to other things, you'll miss opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've had 2 opportunities to speak up and express yourself and not to avoid confrontation, but as long as you avoid confrontation, you're in trouble because your purpose in life, you came in with a 7, which is all about educating. You're an educator. You came in to educate.
I believe that.
You have a very quick, fast mind, but at the same token as you're also a loner or hermit, are you not?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem. So now you've got the loner hermit energy, so you stay within. If somebody calls and says, hey, let's do dinner, you might likely say, well, I got to put my makeup on and get dressed. I don't think so. I'm going to pass for tonight. It's easy for you to get depressed and get stuck because you're no longer making that effort to get out. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly.
And the dating game is not all that exciting out there. However, if you want to play the game, you have to step up to the plate. And to get something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. You have to make an effort in a new direction. No tiki, no washi, no risk, no gain. That's just the way it works. Mm-hmm. And you put your age on a piece of paper. When do you want to turn your life on and come out of hiding?
Yeah, I'm sort of in hiding right now. I wasn't before, though. I've just gone through a series of events, and I just feel kind of like battered from it. kind of. I was much more aggressive before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you have 2 karmic lessons. You came in to work on personal relationships, and that's people in general, but it's personal. And you came in to learn how to make money, how to manage money, and how to balance it so that you respect it and you manage it differently. If you've ever gotten credit card debt or you've overspent or underspent, all kinds of lessons that you came in to learn so that later in life that you'll be able to keep it, retain it, because you managed it differently. Does that make sense? Have you done that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm in credit card debt now because I'm unemployed. But
well, yeah, well, that's
yeah,
what
there's
happens,
always
but
been a weird relationship with money. It never has seemed too positive. Exactly.
Well, you came in to learn lessons so that when you were in a better position, once you get that sting and that bite of being in debt, you never want to be in debt again. And once you work your way out of it, everybody, I got to tell you, including myself, when I was unemployed, I went through my 401s. I went through every dime I had. It's there for a reason when you need the help, that you need the boost. Don't beat yourself up over it. You just know that you're more than capable of rebuilding. You're at a good age. You're going into, now this is very important, you're going into a personal year of a 7 this birthday, November. So November of 2014 to 15, usually 2 months before your birthday, you're going to feel a shift. However, I doubt if you're going to feel it. We're going to hold that thought for a minute because we're going to go backwards. Your last birthday, November 2013 to this November, you're actually in a 6th personal year, domestic adjustment. This is unemployed. This is trying to find a job. This is everything personal. It's very painful. Now you're going to go from the 6 into a 7 because there are 9 total personal years, and every year you get a different flavor. And the universe does this specifically so you don't remain stagnant. So if you don't make a change, it will make it for you. I don't know how many times people have said, you know what, I hate my job. And I keep saying, oh, please, don't put that out there. So the universe is going to say, okay, your wish is granted. You're laid off.
That's what happened with me, yeah.
There you go. You see? You got to be very careful.
I really hated it. I really hated it. And all of a sudden, bang, they pulled the carpet up from underneath me. I was all hurt at first, and I thought, wait a minute, I'm free.
Yeah, but you're free. But the thing of it is, you asked for it.
I did. I totally
realized
like
that
afterwards. Yeah.
Your words are like boomerangs. You put them out there, they come back and knock you over. And so the 7 says most people who go into a 6 or 7 person year go to the doctor and say, I'm having a nervous breakdown. I'm so depressed. Give me some uppers or whatever you do. I don't know what they do. But anyway, the 7 says you're at a stop sign. You're out of gas. You cannot go any further until you face the dragon, you figure out what's what, and you start to make some decisions to go forward. Now, next year, November 2015 to 16, you're going to be in the 8 year, which is getting yourself ready, organized, and ready to make money and to go forward. You really got your act together. But if you don't get your act together this last year to this year, you're going to be behind the 8 ball, and then you're going to hit the 9 person year after the 8, which is spring cleaning again. So you're going to be down a couple of years if you don't step it up and get this right.
Gotcha. I've been feeling that too, actually.
Oh, yay.
Very much so, yes.
Yes. And you came in from age 30 to 57 to take the leadership role, but you can't do it because you're submissive in a lot of ways and you're so afraid of hurting someone's feelings. The 6 is very nurturing. So you're going to tippy-toe around, or you're going to make nice to everybody. And guess what? Now you've taken the responsibility that somebody else owns, and you've got the gorilla on your back. So you got to give it back.
Yeah.
You got to get some skin in the game here. You got to be a little bit more assertive, aggressive, and not take things sensitive. If somebody hurts you, just say, whoa, wait a minute here. You hurt my feelings. Did you mean to say that? So you address it and you walk away. So you don't walk away and say, wow, I could have said, I should have said. And what do? You play your negative tapes over and over again. Doesn't get you anywhere.
Exactly.
Put your age on a piece of paper. Come out of hiding. Turn it back on. This is the best time in your life. I'm 63 years old, and I'm telling people every day, hey, I'm excited. I got a new journey. I got new things going on. I got a new guy in my life. Wow, I'm so jazzed. And I just can't imagine what else is coming around the corner. It's exciting.
Yeah.
So you want to turn it up. It's just like, a flame on a gas stove. You're really, really low here. You've turned it down for a long time. Now you want to activate it.
Awesome. Yeah, everything you're saying is totally resonates. And I knew that it's kind of like a pep talk, too. I really needed to hear that.
It's validation is what it is. And from 57 on up, be prepared. 3 more years, you're going into a 7th birthday cycle. This is your emotional development. We have an obstacle course, emotional and physical, and they go hand in hand. We come in from past lifetimes, plural, into this lifetime, gets triggered as a child, and then from that point on, most girls, what they do is they marry right away, and they marry a controller because they don't know how to be a driver, so they're the passenger until they get sick and tired of being submissive and squished like a bug, and then they decide, whoa, this isn't working anymore, and you're ready to move on. This is all part of your lessons along the way. We are a student of life, here to learn lessons, divine grooming, and lots of them are painful, but you know, to get to where you want to go, you have to get through them, and the faster you get through them, you can take the slow lane, or you can take the fast lane, or you can be in the slow lane and cross over the fast lane and go back and forth anytime you want. But as long as you remain in hiding, your age is going to be ticking, ticking, ticking. So now we're looking at age 60. Now we're looking at age 65, and you're going to say, wow, why didn't I do that 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Nothing is stopping you but yourself.
You got that right.
Validation. Move on.
Yes. Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
Greatly appreciated. And thank you, Shefali.
Oh, thank you, Lori.
Yeah, thank you so much. Take care. You both have a lovely day.
Bye.
You too.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, great questions. And you know, it's so interesting how much information you can give, Joanne, in just these, you know, short little sessions. And then, I mean, it's like, wow, the stuff that comes out of you is like amazing. I mean, I don't think we mentioned to people that you're also a little bit intuitive.
No, I'm a lot intuitive. I'm doing this. I'm reading the energy from the report, and I'm adding the tidbits that come in. This is not even half of what you're going to get. I'm just pulling out things that, just for the moment, that this individual needs to hear. There's a lot more that goes into this, but again, the validation that they need to get off the fence or they need to make some changes, they know it, they just haven't wanted to do it. And you know, it's up to you. You're the driver, slow or fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Okay, so we're going to look for Adam for 1946. If you're on the call, you want to raise your hand, star 2. That's Adam, April 18th, 1946. I thought we'd get a guy.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I don't see Adam. I mean, let me see what I'm. Adam, star 2. Going, gone. I tried.
Okay.
I did try. All right. So then next we're going to go to. God. How about Frank? 1985, 08, 08. Is there a Frank on the line? 1985, 08, 08. Star 2 to raise your hand. Okay. Guess not. Okay. I tried. All right. So we're going to go to Christine, 11/15, 1967. Christine, 11/15, 1967. Star 2 to raise your hand. And I know she's here because I think I saw her name. Christine, are you there? Christine. I don't see you, but I could be blind. Oh, there she is. Okay, perfect. Hold on.
I kept pushing the buttons, but it wasn't working. Okay.
Yeah, no worries. You're here, Christine. Hi.
Hi.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Christine, what do you do for a living?
I've actually been escorting for the past 18 years.
And what does that mean?
An escort? Courtesan?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's just start off with saying that your destiny is the 22-4. This is the master builder. How rigid are you?
It depends on situations.
Okay. This would say that you came in for a partner because you have the partnership numbers. You don't like to be alone. And the force is you're a builder of structure and foundation. You're a perfectionist. And that if you write a 4 on a piece of paper and draw a line across the top, you'll see a box. It can be very, very rigid, dominant, blunt, or controlling. My way or the highway. Do you feel that way?
You know, I used to be that way. I'm really not anymore.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And that shows that at your age that you've made huge, huge leaps and bounds because this is
I'm
one
much
that can
more
really
diplomatic
track you.
and yeah.
Okay, great. Well, the 2-2s are the diplomat, peacemaker, the counselor, the advisor. Your soul, emotion, desires. You're a freedom lover. You got to have your freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be boxed in. Yet your personality is again the 4, which is very rigid in some respects. Not wanting to. Let's just put it this way: how free are you to making changes all the time?
Oh, it's very difficult.
Why is it difficult?
I don't know. I always feel like I'm stuck. Like right now, I'm trying to move into my own home business, but I find it so challenging to make the change.
Is it fear?
I'm sorry?
Is it fear?
Probably. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so what happens when you have the 4 in your destiny and the 4 in your personality says, I'm going to play it safe. I want to make sure my T's are crossed, my I's are dotted, and then I'm going to play it safe. I want a guarantee. There's no such thing as guarantee. Yeah. That's the problem. So the next best thing to do is know confirmation. Now, you should be very intuitive, are you?
Yes, I'm an empath.
Okay, right. You're an empath. All right. So you already know what the answer is before you ask the question, so what's the hesitation?
I don't know.
You got to pause. Okay, one of the things is you came in with a lot of smarts from a past lifetime. You came in to take the leadership role in this lifetime. You don't have any aggressive numbers in your chart. This year, you're going into also a personal year of a 7, November of 2014 to 15. You are at a stop sign, at a gas. You have to figure out what's got you stuck, what the fears that you can eliminate. You can't go any further until you address the dragon. And if you will look at last year's birthday, November 2013 or 14, you're in a 6, domestic adjustment. It has to do with relationships. So is there something about a relationship that you're stuck with?
Well, I just ended a friendship that I've been in for a long time because it wasn't working. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what you're in, domestic adjustment. That's getting rid of a relationship. That's anything personal that you're having to adjust. So you're uncoupling, and uncoupling makes you feel uncomfortable, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's exactly normal. I mean, especially if you've been in it long term. Now you're going into a 7. Now it's like, man, I can't go anywhere. I'm stuck. I'm out of gas. I have to face the dragon. What is it I want when I grow up? What is it? What is preventing me from going forward? You've got a lot of fears. I'm picking up fears. You've got the 4 in the destiny, the 4 in the personality, and your purpose is to serve mankind, and your life goal is a 4. It says it's about time you start to rebuild your life. Mm-hmm. Get out of hiding. You can be so comfortable for so long because it's comfortable. It's a ticky mark in the box. But the truth of the matter is what you put a square peg in a round hole and you've crammed and jammed. It'll fit, but it'll be cockeyed. It isn't what you really want, but you settled for a period of time until you were ready to move forward. If you ended the relationship or he ended the relationship, but when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of the old program, you will make a change.
Right.
Now, where you are from age 32 to 59, you're in domestic adjustment. This is working on the partnership. This is moving. This is getting your personal life in order. This is all personal for you. And then you go in from 59 on, you draw into 23-5, which is great. This is the partner. This is the 3 is the social, having fun, and 5 is change, like traveling and having fun. When I see the 23-5 configuration, I see a little boy and a little girl in the sandbox giggling and laughing. You're working your way towards that, but you have to clear the deck first. If not, think of yourself as a jet. And if your runway is full, how is the jet going to land?
Sure. Yeah.
You've just taken yourself off of the availability list. Now, you came in from childhood, from age 1 to 32. You came in, looks like, off of a roller coaster ride from childhood. Very emotional, unable to speak up, express yourself, avoiding confrontation. What age have you been married?
I was.
What age?
Once. Let me see, 32 to about 34.
Oh, was he controlling?
Yeah.
Yeah, you chose a driver because you weren't ready to go yourself. So you chose a driver until he squished you like a bug because you're a freedom lover and that wasn't going to work. So when you got sick and tired of being sick and tired, you were done.
Right. Well, every relationship I'd ever had with a man was controlling.
Yeah, you pick a controller.
Yeah.
And if you're not done with the energy, you'll pick another one who's a controller.
Right.
Got to work through that. Okay, so you came in very intelligent. You came in to learn how to make money, to manage money, to balance it with the spiritual side of you so money didn't rule you. You came in to work on personal relationships. So the 2 karmic lessons are personal relationships and money management, but you came in highly sensitive and you bruise very easily, and if you don't get a thick skin and fix that, this will literally take you from your happiness, because if you can't speak up and express yourself, let's just put it this way, if you want intimacy with a person, you got to be stark naked and put all your cards on the table. A lot of people have scars on the outside. A lot of people have scars on the inside. It doesn't really matter where the scar appears. It matters that the fact that you can't be 100% you. When you just put everything out and say, look, this is who I am, this is what I look like, take me or leave me, basically, then you get it all out of the way and there's no pussyfooting around. Because lots of times, I mean, not lots of times, but when you're starting to date someone, you're on your best behavior. Everything's going to be, your makeup, everything's going to be perfect. And then eventually you spend some time together, and then you spend a weekend together, and then all of a sudden, all you need to know is the behavior of the person. Forget what they tell you. That's usually BS. It's that dictates what the person's all about. It's really easy to send speedballs to someone. This is what I do when I go out. I send it what I call a speedball. I send something very sharp, very quick to find out who they are. I know in less than a second what they're all about. And then I kind of retract and say, ooh. Or if I'm going somewhere and somebody says, well, what do you do? And I don't want to tell them, I send out a little strange message here to decide whether or not I want to talk to this person. I don't want to waste my time on somebody who's not on the same energy wave that I am. And if you're not on the same wave, you're up and they're down. It doesn't work well. But when you're with somebody on the same wave, you hum. It's great. But
yeah,
if you're going to pick
I'm
somebody,
trying to find that, and I can tell instantly, and I can
well, of course
hear
you
their
can.
thoughts, so they can't lie to me. You know.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. You came in creative. So what do you do for creativity that's not analytical?
You know, I guess I spend time with my animals. I like to take pictures of them, and
good.
Yeah.
Good. You need creativity and activity to bounce your heavy brain. Otherwise, you'll stay secluded, and you don't want to do that because that'll cause depression.
Right.
Your main challenge from birth to death was to speak up, to express yourself, not to avoid confrontation, and not to speak with a block in your throat. That's it from birth to death. So you're working on that one. And from 59 on, and you're not there yet, it's the same thing. Let the little girl out, have some fun. So you've got all these boxes. They're the square box. The little girl is lost. She's crying. She wants to get out. She wants to have some fun. She wants to play. Doesn't she?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Well, you got to open the door and make some changes.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thanks, Shefali.
Thank you, Christine.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Great questions. I mean, you know, some of these charts are so interesting, you know, and what comes up, you know, and you know what they're working on right now, and it's just so amazing how you're validating everything that they're going through, you know, just from looking at their chart. I'm always amazed by that. It's like, wow, it's like it's so right on.
Well, what's really important is a person already knows what's going on. They're in denial, or they don't know how to kickstart and move forward. But when they get validation, they get excited. They say, wow, that's right. That's how I feel. What is worse than going down a path and not knowing if you're on the right path or not on the right path? But when somebody validates everything that you already know that's a complete stranger, that's a real good thing.
Absolutely. And it's more than that too. I mean, like, you know, right now we're just working on, you know, like 5 minutes per person. But when you're talking to them, you know, for their session, there's a lot more information that you give. Not just, well, this is what's happening. This is what's in your next year or two. There's just so much, you know, insight.
It's a lot of information. It's a lot of information on that, but there's 9 components. And so you need to know where you're aggressive in how you're positioned in some areas where you're aggressive or you're not, because if you're not aggressive in one area and it affects another area, it's a cancellation. So as long as you know this, you can do, knowledge is power, you can do a workaround. And so you can fix it if you're aware that it's broken. We all come in with broken parts. We all come in to go through our obstacle course. That's a given. We all have opportunities, but if you can't get through the obstacle course and you don't have your headlights turned up, you'll miss the opportunities along the way. They'll keep coming back and forth, but you know, at a different stage in life. And then you factor in 8 of your life lessons that you come in from a past lifetime into this lifetime, fully developed, semi-developed, or not developed. I'm telling you, this is a huge assignment. But when I take you into your control center, turn up the light and say, okay, this is what you look like on the big screen. I break you down by each of your parts. I explain what each of the frequencies mean, what's going on, which ones like each other, which ones don't like each other. And when I put the whole picture together, man, you're ready to go.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, it's just amazing, and you know, it really helps that you are so intuitive. You know, so it's not just looking at numbers and words. You know, there's the energy behind it is what you can also give them as well, right? It's more insightful than just reading something, you know.
Right. In addition to that, I come from the corporate year of 25 years, corporate world, and a lot of times people are talking about, well, they want to start a business. Okay, I'll send you a template for a business plan. Now what's your story? What else do you need? I don't just sit here and say, okay, here's a person, I'm reading their numbers, done. No, I have recommendations and I have things that I like to share with people that's appropriate for each individual. I really care about the individual. I really care that you get this right, because this is a once in a lifetime. You're not going to get this kind of work anywhere else. I guarantee it. This is an investment in yourself. If you're not willing to make the investment, it's not the right product for you. It's not for everyone. It's for somebody who's ready to kickstart, to move forward, to have a better understanding of themselves, so they know this is your roadmap. Then you know if you're on track or off track, and how to fix what's broken, or at least get a running start with recommendations from other people that can help you. So you need to know who to go to. Just like when you get a computer that has a virus, it gets worse, worse, and worse. That's the same thing as your obstacle course. You've got to figure out where to take it. I recently took my computer in 4 times to this one place, and finally I took it out and said, this is not working anymore, because they couldn't figure out what was broken. So I didn't take it to the right place to begin with, but I thought they knew what their stuff was. Same thing when you choose a healer or anyone else. You know, they've got their sign out there. They look like they're good. Maybe they're a recommendation, maybe they're not. And if they're not giving you the right result, it's not the right person for you. And there's a lot of people to choose from, so you need to know who to go to. And I've been in the business long enough to know who I go to and who I wouldn't go to. So you get a little bit more than just a chart and a reading from me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the special offer that we have available on the show today. It's at activateyourabundance.com/Joanne. So that's activateyourabundance.com/Joanne. I'm just going to bring it up, and it will change on the screen as well to activateyourabundance.com/Joanne. All right, so Joanne, do you want to talk about it quickly? Yes. The first offer is the Chaldean Numerology Comprehensive Report, right?
Right. This report is 40 pages. It has a lot of information. If you don't like to read, then skip to page 11, which is the configuration of all your components. The beginning shows you that this is a mathematical formula, where it came from. I didn't make this up. This is in history. This Chaldean formula dates back to October 23rd, 4004 BCE, when history first was recorded. If you know anything about the God Code that was written by Greg Braden, it speaks of it in there as well. He's a scientist. He's very well respected. He's done his due diligence and his homework. So it's there. It's a validation. So if you are still using your birth name, which is Program A, you want to purchase Offer 1. This is one report and a 30-minute reading consultation. It's recorded. You can ask questions. It's very interactive, because I'm going to be asking you questions. So one report, 30 minutes, 40 pages, it's $179. Now, if you've changed your name, and so you have a birth name and you have a legal name, you need 2 reports. You need to know what's in the first Program A, because that's your full potential, and then you need to know what happened when you changed your name. So that's why you need 2 reports. You get a 45-minute reading. It's $197, a little bit more than the other one, but I have to do 2 readings. I read the first one, I read the second one, and I do a comparative analysis, so there's a little bit more to this one than there is the first one. But anyone who has a name change should know what has happened. Did you go backwards? Did you go forward? And how did you change as a result of the frequency change when you changed your name? You played pin the tail on the donkey. You had no idea what you were doing when you exchanged one name for another name. Now, the new name, what happens is after 9 years, you settle into the name. Whether it's perfect or not doesn't matter. It's a settlement. Then the new name becomes an overlay influence on top of the birth chart, and it deactivates certain characteristics. You never lose Program A. You are born and you're going to die with that program. However, when you modified it by changing your name, you change the frequencies. So now you have Layer 1, Layer 2. Layer 2 is a controller of Layer 1. And Layer 1 is quiet, but you know, if the 2 don't like each other, they fight like cats and dogs, and they constantly are trying to go back and forth with reasserting it themselves with back and forth, because they don't like each other. They're like kids at a table throwing food. They don't like each other because the frequencies, for example, if you had an outgoing frequency, the social butterfly, happy, 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 and you change your name and you got the 7, the hermit, the loner, one is outward, one is inward. That's the difference between day and night. So you need to know this. And when you understand all this stuff, knowledge is power, then you can do a workaround and say, okay, I'm going to blend this with blend this, and now I understand why my behavior. Your name reveals your 3 core characteristics: your soul, emotional desire, your personality, and your purpose. That's the core of a human being. those are the frequencies that are going to be altered. Anything the birth date has to reveal, which is your destiny, intellect, your personal years, your obstacle course, your opportunities, will never ever change. So you will see that the only things that change between the two charts are the core characteristics, but it's really imperative that you understand what this is. Some of them are aggressive, some of them are not, some of them don't like each other. And when you do, you'll have a better idea. You have a roadmap now that's going to help you to fix what's broken and to realize the areas that you excel in, and so you know how to proceed. This is really, really important. So you either have one name and you buy one report and the 30 minutes for $179, or you have two names, you buy the two reports for a 45-minute reading that's recorded and $179.
Perfect, thank you. And that offer again is at activateyourabundance.com/Joanne, Joanne. So that's activateyourabundance.com/Joanne. And yeah, and the report, you know, it's a 40-page report, gives you all sorts of information and the different areas. There's like I think you said 9 different areas. So it's really comprehensive, and it gives you a lot of information. And then the reading with Joanne as well. So it's you know, I think it's awesome. I had fun with mine. It
a lot
was
of
good.
information. Also, I'd like to comment on one question that came in. This woman apparently got married, got a divorce, and said, could I go back to my maiden name? This is the way it works. When you have your maiden name and you marry, it's a 9-year process. When you divorce and go back to the maiden name, it's immediate across the board. But if you're using your former married name and your current name, you have layer 1, layer 2, it's the same thing. You only want one name. And here's the kicker. This is amazing to me. When I ask someone what their legal name is, I have to be very specific. What's on the driver's license? What's on the Social Security? What's on the legal papers? A lot of people will use an initial for a middle name. Don't want to do that. The full vibration, the full energy, the frequency that you bond to is your full name. Now, you do not need to use your middle name on internal documents or anything other than legal papers. I never use my middle name. It's no big deal. But my full name is on everything legal because that is my full potential. So again, you don't have to use a middle name. You can be called a nickname, or you can call yourself something. What somebody calls you or you call them has no bearing whatsoever. Okay? But if you have a legal document that has this name, and a legal document that has that name, and then a third name, which a lot of people do, you're mixing frequencies. Then you have no clue as to what you're mixing. That's the problem. So if you go back to your maiden name, it's immediate across the board. There's no probation. There's no waiting whatsoever because you were born with it. You're going to go out with it. So that's the difference. You go backwards, it's immediate. If you take a name, it's going forward, and it's a 9-year process.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. I wanted to ask that question too. So, for example, if my name, like right now, is Shefali Burns, and my birth name was Shefali Kumar, if I go back to Shefali Kumar, it's not going to take nine years?
No, not at all. There's no waiting.
Okay.
You go right back to it immediately. But if you're using both names together, then you're mixing what you've got now, layer 1, layer 2, because right now your maiden name is dormant.
Yeah.
It's deactivated in some ways because your new name, you've had it long enough, is the controller of the two. But if you decide to eliminate your current name and you go backwards, it's immediate.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
provided
perfect.
You're not using both names.
Yeah, yeah. It has to be like a clean break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Sometimes you get a better deal with a name change. Sometimes. Most of the time you go backwards.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to talk to you about that because, because I have to look at, like, my numbers are fine, thank God. Because after I asked you, it's like, okay, we're gonna keep the numbers
Yeah, you
and
got a
name
good
exactly
deal.
the way it is. Yeah, it's like we're not changing.
Yeah, you got a good deal with that name.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like we're good, but I didn't know that before I talked to you. I was all ready and set to go. I was gonna change my name. I was gonna add a name. Everything. And I was all set. And then I talked to you, and you're like, no.
No. In fact, a lot of people think that if they change their name, and here's the one that really gets me the hardest. When somebody calls and says, "My guru said," as soon as that, I push my chair back and say, "Uh-oh, here we go again." What it sounds like and what it calculates to be are two different frequencies. Most of the time that people have said my guru or my spiritual name has sent them backwards, not forwards. And so they don't understand why something doesn't feel right. You have no idea how devastating a name change can be. This is not part of our education system. People don't even have a clue as to what I'm talking about. It's everything you know in the universe has a frequency, has energy frequency. And so when you start mixing different frequencies up, who knows what you're going to cock up? who knows, what this potion's going to turn out to be when it's all said and done. So you got to be really careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for clarifying that, because somebody had posted that question, and I was curious about that too. And I'm glad that there's not a 9-year probationary period again if you want to change your name back, to your birth name.
It goes right away.
Yeah, that's
and
perfect.
Here's the other thing. Here's just a piece of information. I'm not an attorney, but I know for a fact that a lot of women, when they're indecisive and they get their divorce, all they need to do is put a paragraph in that decree that says that they can go back to using their middle name. Maybe they don't do it, but if they do it at any point in time, they have a legal document. If they don't do this and they decide at some point in time, which they will, that they want to go back probably to using their maiden name, then they have to do a full legal name change. The DMV, Social Security, they want legal documents. These are trained people. They're not supposed to make decisions. They take a legal piece of paper that's stamped and says it's legal on it, and they'll make the name change. If not, you've got to go through the course of changing your name legally. So always have that paragraph in that divorce decree that allows you to go back if you choose to at any time.
Good to know. Yep, that's something I did not know. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you, Joanne. This has been wonderful, and thank you for all the people who submitted your information to us. We could only do a few. I know Joanne is running off to another appointment. I'm running off to pick up my daughter. So the special offer again is at activateyourabundance.com/Joanne. So if it resonates with you, take a look at it, and we will talk again soon. Joanne, do you have any last comments for us?
Yes. Fear will close all your doors while desire will open them. To get something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. You have to make an effort in a new direction. No risk, no gain, and there are no accidents in life, merely opportunities for more enlightenment.
I love it. Wow, that was great. Thank you. All right, everyone, continue to live a life filled with joy, peace, happiness, and abundance, and I'll see you again soon. This was event 1 of the doubleheader. We'll see you again tonight. Doubleheader 2. I'm off to go pick up my daughter, so talk to you soon. Bye. Bye, Joanne. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. And thanks for everyone who participated.